Alberta tricked into communism. Can't make it up. Just brutal. I'm watching the link shared to me by my friend Carrie Rempel and everybody. So referendums are now going to be used to have early election calls. The most undemocratic thing about governments, a marker, one of the major markers developed by the United States, is scheduled elections. You have limited terms, scheduled elections. If you don't have that, you don't have a stable democracy. You don't even have a functioning democracy. Two majors that now Alberta has thrown out the window. Danielle Smith, our premier in Alberta, has not participated in a single scheduled election since coming to power. Always erratic early elections right from the get-go with Jason Kenney. This woman knows no bounds on democracy. Completely Kim Jong-un. And you can go to North Korea for the same baloney. He does that to the foolish North Koreans who've been institutionalized in communism. But as the media showcases, Albertans are all for unscheduled elections. Oh yeah, I'm going to get a referendum question or three. Stay in Alberta forever. And there's two others proposed, but Danielle Smith is going to use those for early election call so she can remain in power another 4 years. Foolish Albertans. Number one marker of a democracy is scheduled elections. Number two, term limits, none of which any of you have, meaning you're mostly communist. America's over here, communism's here, and Alberta's right here. Right here. The province of Alberta. Our federal government's completely gone, and now the province of Alberta is completely gone in democratic markers. It's not a democracy. They call it a parliamentary democracy. Well, that's not anybody's democracy for the people. And it's proved, and just how foolish so many Albertans are. Oh yeah, another early election. Let's have unscheduled elections forevermore. We've already had 3 in a row. Albertans, what's happened to you? You are more like communist North Korea than you are like the United States. I tagged my friend Benjamin Ebley in this. He's tired. It's 1 o'clock in the morning Mexico time. But we had a major breakthrough tonight, Ben. I just did another video on constitutionalism. And what I've now uncovered with Albertans and Canadians, mostly separatists, is they didn't understand that provincial constitutions and all encroachment of the federal government over provincial powers. See, what the breakthrough is that Canadians, mostly all Canadians, don't realize that if they enshrine their provincial powers in a constitution with checks and balances, all gifting of provincial powers, aka the rights of Canadians and First Peoples, gifted from the provincial governments, past and present, mostly past, they've gifted away all your supposed to be codified rights. Property, water, resources, your civil rights, your human rights, your rights to education, health. We can go on and on. All the resources. If you codify a provincial constitution, you remove all current and past encroachments on said areas for all Canadians in that region. The federal government loses all of it, including all their taxes they collect on provincial powers, because they've been gifted these powers that were supposed to be your codified rights as Canadians and First Peoples. They've taken that, gifted it to the federal government so that they were allowed to do trades outside for all themselves, their friends, not you, the Canadian people, not your region. You see, I'm going to say it again. In 1867, Canada created its constitution and molded provincial constitutionalism in Section 5, Part V. That was so that the states would not invade British North America and destroy it and finish it off for good. Instead, they would see with these new constitutional acts that, look, all the people of Canada, all the First Peoples are going to get all the same division of powers, aka sovereignty, like all 50 states of the Union do. See, America, we're almost just like you. Just give us some time and all the provinces will roll out these provincial constitutions. That was 1867. USA turned after the Civil War, and instead of destroying the rest of British North America and making it part of the United States, they went out to the world and destroyed the rest of the Spanish Empire. They had a choice. We've removed Spain from our states in all constitutions through civil war, but now we have to eliminate the colonials. And America turned for the next 40 years and destroyed the Spanish Empire forevermore. America and Philippines all the way into the 1900s. They were going to make a choice. What is Canada and British North America or Spain and Spanish Empire? The British Empire said, look, we have provincial constitutions. Americans read it at the time and said, oh, look, Canada's going to be just like us. But guess what happened? For 40 years, America went on destroying the Spanish Empire, while Britain and British North America, aka Canada, and the constitutional acts never once cemented any provincial constitutions formed by the people of any region in Canada. Called for from day one, no premier with lieutenant governor has ever pursued that. You know why? I'm a pure autocratic dictator with zero accountability, zero responsibilities, and as long as I can con these stupid, ignorant, dumb subject slaves and filthy savages into obeying me, their master, as long as I can remain in power, as long as I can get reelected for as many terms as I want, I can fill my pockets at their dire expense. I can play good cop, bad cop with the federal government. And folks, if you didn't know, there are hundreds and hundreds of bills passed by provincial premiers in all provinces and territories from all parties to all said other parties federally. Deal, deal, deal. I will give you this right of the people in my region. I will give that provincial power to you. Give me access through trade and commerce, aka banking on the global stage for myself and my rich friends, Pacific companies in my region. Allow us to get stinkily rich. We'll share it with you. And for that, we'll give you rights from the province to the federal government. If you ever read Section 91, everybody, that's called the federal powers. There's only 8 lists there. Those are the things that the federal government is allowed to tax and debt load against all of you by any means necessary that they choose in that division of powers. As we see right across Canada, the federal government has taxed all kinds of provincial powers from all kinds of specific provinces. How are they able to do it constitutionally? The premier, who holds all of Section 92 to Section 157, certain provinces, others only go up to 143, but it's a ton of rights and promises to you, the Canadian people and First People, at least at the provincial level, aka an equivalent State of the Union level, Canada's version. And they don't do it because now they hold it all entirely under whoever you elect as premier and their friends, their appointed privy cabinets, and they all get stinkily rich. It's not a crime because they have no constitutions. They lied to America. They told you, yes, we're going to constitute those, but since 1867, not one premier has wanted to. Why? Because right now, and since 1867, they're pure autocrats with the right to do anything they want, and there is no laws to restrict them, because you don't have any constitutions, provincially or territorially, and they trade off all your rights to the federal government whenever they see a mighty business venture where they're going to fill their pockets. Premiers have been robbing Canadian people for millions of dollars at your literally hundreds of billions expense. Spare no expense. Don't spare any rod, crack the whip, tear the flesh from their bones. That is the evil of Canada. All premiers, all through the ages of Canada, 1867 till today. There isn't a premier who hasn't raped you all beyond all measure in all regions and absolutely done that, good cop, bad cop, even with all the other political parties. In fact, especially conservative with federal liberals, provincial liberals with federal conservatives. They've been doing this beyond all other parties forever and a day because they've traded off premier and prime minister titles. It doesn't matter the party, the spectrum, they all have been doing it. That's my video. Share. Get it out there to everybody you know. God bless. Bye now.